Hello, hello, and welcome to Gens on the Real, where it's two Gens and one Real.
And where we're keeping it real today. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're so excited to have you here listening to us again. And Jen, how was your day?
My day's good. My weekend was amazing. As you can see, I'm a little burnt.
Yep. Yes, you
but
are.
Totally worth it.
Good, good. Well, I'm exhausted. I had a long weekend as well. But we're not going to talk about that.
Not today.
Not today. Not today.
Yeah, we're a little delirious today, I feel.
Yeah, we are. Well, today we want to bring you a little bit of fun. Or maybe some more frustration, because this is what our show is about, a little bit on the real estate side. And we have a couple things happening that happen to us all the time with customers. And we have some chronicles we want to go through.
Yeah,
and
some war stories.
Yeah, whole event session. And then, we'll update you guys on a few things that have been happening in our industry. So
Definitely.
So yeah.
So,
Jen,
you wanna,
you go first.
I was going to say, do you want to update them?
Sure. Let's do an
Let's
update
get that
first.
out of the way.
All right. So, we had talked about Frec and how there was a potential of Frec being removed. And as of May 3rd, the bill has been withdrawn. So realtors, you have to follow Frec rules. All right.
Frec is back.
Yeah. So thank goodness. I was actually afraid of that, of what our industry was going to turn into. It's already kind of crazy as it is.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that one, but thank God they figured it out. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what they did. I haven't read up on it. This Jen over here is the one who did it. But yeah, thank God. That's great news.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And in addition to that, I wanted to add, in a previous episode, we had mentioned that we were going to talk about a lawsuit that had taken place in the past with regards to a realtor providing feedback.
Yes, I remember. We actually were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, which is so crazy. So usually when you go and you show a home, the listing agent, and even there's like a platform, it always asks you for your feedback on the home. Like, what was your opinion? What did you think? And it's useful information because you can go back to the seller and be like, look, this is what people are saying,
Yes, except a lot of realtors provide the feedback maybe on their own personal opinion, and that's where the problem happened. It's the realtor provided feedback, feedback that was supposed to be from the buyer, but it wasn't. And when the buyer found out, then there was a lawsuit against the realtor for providing the wrong feedback on the property, and which essentially caused the seller not to move forward with an offer, et cetera. Buyer.
Which is crazy because you would think the feedback's not really to hold it against you at any point. It's usually just to see what people are saying, but it's like a double-edged sword.
It's almost like that situation. When realtors submit offers, oftentimes they submit a story about the buyer.
Right.
So if a seller selected a buyer based on specific circumstances, and if those circumstances can be misconstrued as racism or something like that, they can actually get sued for it as well.
Well, yeah, that I know. There's a lot of laws with that, especially in our industry, like the steering and it has to be equal credit opportunity.
Which is why they are asking for realtors to stop providing a story, when they're submitting an offer. But then at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well.
Yeah, you kind of want to say the story as to why this buyer wants his home. It does help.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, we're human, and I feel like it gives you some kind of like...
I feel people still need to have the ability to have choice.
No, for sure. And I just think that it's nice when you hear the story because some sellers have lived in this home for maybe 20, 30 years. They've raised their children. Yeah. They have grandchildren from there. And you'd be surprised, like, I want to raise my family. And it kind of puts the seller like, wow.
It's an emotional transaction in a way for some of the sellers.
So it does help. I mean, it's nice when I think maybe the buyer could write their own story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but essentially it's the seller the one that is at fault if they choose, for example, somebody with a family versus somebody with no family.
I see what you're saying.
So
because you're talking about flip, I'm thinking buyer side. You're thinking okay.
Yeah, so it's discriminative in a way, but yet at the same time, when do you have choice? When do you choose? I prefer, up versus down. You know what I mean, or whatever the case may be, and it's so hard in these times. Because we don't have that choice anymore. Now the choice is which one's the best offer. Problem is that most offers come in very similar with similar terms because it's almost like a standard of the industry to do certain things. In every state is different. And I noticed the standard in every state is different, but it's the same within the state. So everybody submits similar offers.
So you'd be surprised though. So I have an aunt that she did sell her house. This was years ago. And they lived in that home like, I mean, her husband, her kids, it was their family home. They had lots of memories in that home. They had a great backyard for entertainment. So she was so picky of who bought that house. And the house needed a complete update. You know what I mean? So it was like, oh, this house is perfect. I'm like, no, but whatever. But she was really picky as who bought the house. She wanted it to go to a growing family and this and that. And it's what you said. The offers sometimes are very similar. And sometimes as humans, you do make an emotional decision.
Yes.
But I think it's your house. You should be allowed to sell it to whoever you want.
That's my point.
Like,
you know, that's my point. But I understand the discriminatory aspects of
right.
it.
Definitely, you shouldn't be discriminating. Oh, I don't want a Latin person in my house.
Yeah.
Or I don't want a colored person in my house or whatever. That's not fair.
Yeah, but then...
Or somebody that's not going to have a family. Hey, what if I want a big house with no family?
Yeah.
And maybe they want their dogs.
Yeah.
Maybe that's their family.
Yeah. I mean, in choosing what you want, you're also implying that you don't want the other ones, you know? So it's such a difficult thing. And then you go as far as like, look at the offer. Or are you being discriminatory because somebody doesn't have enough funds to put into your offer? And now you're going with the best offer, you know, cash terms.
Well, usually it is a money thing, you know?
It is. No.
numbers.
Yeah. You know, so essentially you have some level of choice. At what point do we stop getting these boundaries?
Yeah. Like it's also mandatory that as a listing agent, you have to present every offer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You have to present every offer.
And the seller has to choose, but not every listing agent presents all offers.
Right.
Yeah.
So the seller is the one who ultimately make the decision, but you have to present it. Even if it's like a lowball offer, because I remember with my aunt, they were giving her lowball offers. And before, like sometimes you're like, oh, I don't want to waste my time sending her this offer, but you have to.
Yeah.
So I would call her and be like, listen, I got an offer for this amount. She's like, yeah, don't even bother sending it to me. Okay, but at least I told her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I told her, look, I'm just going to send it for you to have it because you never know.
Yeah.
You might circle back to that offer. Hey, guys, it's that time of the show again where we have to mention our sponsors. So the Jen on the Real Show was brought to you by Newell Title and the Curse Team, where we handle all your real estate needs. You know?
Yeah, there is a point where the sellers usually say, well, don't send me anything that's under this.
Right. Or to me, it's like it starts off as a like the start of negotiations, because real estate is about negotiation, which reminds me of a story.
What story?
So I was going to put in an offer on this house, right? But I hadn't done my taxes yet. So I didn't want to send in the offer.
Yeah.
And the lender was like, no, don't send the offer. My taxes were a mess. But the listing agent, I had gone to see the house twice. So she kept texting and emailing me, oh, are you so interested in the house? And I explained to her, I go, look, I am interested. I called her and I go, look, I'm interested in the house, but I'm working on my taxes. The house just happened to be by my friend's house, so I just popped in during an open house. And then I liked the house. And I was like, okay. So I told her, look, I can't really give you a written offer because
you're getting ready for it.
I go, I'm not really ready and I don't want to waste your time or my time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If the house is still available when I'm ready, then it is. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Get me started. We'll get there.
So she's like, no, but you can send it, like just send it without signing or an email so I can start presenting it to the seller. So I sent my offer. And the offer included 3% as the commission.
Yeah.
And she writes back as a commission that I was actually going to use as a credit. And she's like, no, the commission's not 3, it's 2.5. And I'm like, okay. Okay, but that's my offer.
That's your offer, yeah.
Like, whatever, you can always counter, you know what I mean? And I was really nice about it because in the email, I told her, look, it's really for a credit. I was really nice about it. The difference wasn't much. It was less than $5,000. I could have just gone up 5.
Yeah.
And whatever would have. But
met somewhere in the middle.
But if it's already if I'm already at that, then from there, if we're gonna go back and forth negotiating, it might just get higher from there. So I told her I was I swear, I was super freaking nice. I even thanked her for her time and how much I appreciated her. Like I sugarcoated that shit with sprinkles and cherries on top.
Did you add a story?
Huh? No, I didn't add the story.
No.
Because I thought she knew the story. The whole point is, and then her response was so sarcastic. She was like, listen, why don't you just, what did you say? Why don't you just give me a full price, a full offer with the 2.5, and then we'll figure it out. And I was like,
No.
and inside I was like, you know what?
Full price with 2.5. There's no figuring it out.
I felt like telling her, because this is what she put. How about we do this? That's how she started. And in my mind, I was like, how about we do this? How about you stick the house up you know where? I was like so mad. I replied to her like a million times in my head. Yeah. But then, of course, I had to take a deep breath. I was like, Jennifer, you are a professional. You are not doing this. You're not going to stoop down to her level. And I didn't. I was really nice. I'm like, look, I'm sorry for wasting your time and wasting mine. We'll circle back if the house is still available when I'm ready. And I just never circled back. But in my mind, I'm thinking, you have to start negotiating at somewhere. And I was telling her, why don't you start somewhere? And I told her, look, just present it and then counter. And we'll take it from there. I'm going to rework my numbers. Like, I was really nice about it. And she was like, no, she wasn't having it. And I was like, okay, so you just don't know how to negotiate. Obviously, there were young realtors.
So yes, there's a don't know how to negotiate situation, but there's also where if the seller was very adamant, you have sometimes a seller where it's like, I don't want to see this, and this is my number.
Well, she was okay with my number on the sales price. She just wasn't okay on the commission.
The other half.
So then I told her, I go, look, because what happens? What if I go off 5 and ask for 3? You're still gonna cut? Like, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, and technically. She doesn't have to present anything because I didn't give her a written offer.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, you don't know what I was going to do. What? I was going to resubmit the offer when my taxes were done. I was going to resubmit the offer, and I was going to resubmit it like even lower.
Yeah.
Like not like $5,000 lower. I was going to go like 20 grand lower with the 2.5 just to like mess with her, but I didn't do that. Because I'm a bigger person.
Just hold back. You hold back.
I held back because I'm
growing.
I'm growing, right? People. I'm super mature now.
If it's for you,
but I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm dying to do it. Whatever. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
So I had a situation with a buyer, and this happens so often, especially here in Miami or. No, you know what? I think it happens everywhere. I think it's I don't know if it's a religious thing, where everybody's like, well, if it's going to be for me, it's going to be for me, or God knows, God will put it in my place.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I mean, I do believe it. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be, but it's not like it's going to come from the sky and drop onto your lap.
So I had a buyer that needed help with getting pre-qualified. Mm-hmm. And I basically explained to them, based on what they told me, it was going to be very difficult. So I said, why don't we just get this process started and make sure that you're on track, and we put you guys in position so that you can qualify for what you want and make the decision based on educated factors. Like, you know what the numbers look like, you know what the monthly payments are. You can actually make the decision. Oh no, I want to go look at properties first. And if I really, really like a property and it's in a good price point, then, I'll work on that. And I was like, you're working.
That's crazy.
It is. You're working backwards. 2, if you really like that property, guess what? You're not the only one. Because that really good property, everybody wants it.
Right, for sure.
So you have to be prepared. How are you going to jump on the right property if you're not prepared? And if it's going to be for me, it's going to be for me situation. If you don't prepare yourself, like if Noah didn't prepare the boat, right? He wasn't going to be ready to survive.
Well, maybe she has a secret that we don't know about. Maybe she has una velita that she turns on and like it poof, the house appears. Or a chicken or a goat's head.
I found a chicken in front of my house, a dead chicken, under a palm tree in front of my house.
Oh, that's probably like something.
Yeah, I had to Google it. I thought it was like voodoo on us.
Oh, okay.
But no, apparently that's just like something they did, and they needed to put it on a palm tree so it can come.
Yeah,
true.
it was probably they needed a specific tree
Yeah.
I've heard about that. They need a specific tree to do, because Marcel used to have a house that had like this specific tree, and he would find stuff there all the time.
So I live close to, there's a trailer park very close to my house, and I have to pass by there all the time. And in front of the trailer park, there's a line of palm trees.
Yes,
and
I know exactly what trailer
never
park.
even noticed. And I never noticed what it was. Like, I didn't know. This is also new to me after that moment. Prior to that moment, I'm sorry. So I remember driving by and saying, gosh, this is so dirty. There's always trash under the freaking palm trees. And it was that. It was
No way.
It's
and
that.
you thought it was trash?
I thought it was just trash, but I would see it in every palm tree.
Oh my God.
Paper bags.
So it's heavy over there.
It's pretty heavy over there. Yeah. So
Well, my friend one time, this is a million years ago, she wanted was it that she had to sell the house, or she wanted a house and she bought this little saint, I don't know which one, and you have to put it up high or something.
is it St. Joseph?
I have no idea. She had to put it up high because she wanted that house, and she got that house. I don't know if it was a little saint thing or whatever,
So
but
I've
she
heard
got
of
the
the
house.
the other way
How about
around
the
to
one that
sell
you-
it. The one you put underground.
Yeah, the one that you sell,
That's
you have
St.
to put
Joseph, I
that,
think.
that
Yeah.
one, yes.
Yeah. There's so many different things. I don't know if it works or not.
I don't know if it works either. I mean, but what a coincidence that she was looking for the house and she couldn't find a house. This was like a million years ago. And she did that, and I was like, she's crazy.
Oh my
And,
God,
I mean,
yeah.
she found the house, but I mean, I feel like eventually anybody would find the house.
Well, yeah, eventually.
I
After
think
so
it was
long.
like a specific house that she wanted, like a specific house, and it was like, but I don't know.
That's so much. That's almost like so much control. Like, how do you know?
I know, it's like, ooh, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Give me 6
Yeah.
numbers.
Let's just guys, if you're a consumer out there listening to this, please, yes, if it's meant to be for you, it's going to be for you, obviously. But prepare yourself. It's nobody's going to meant to be prepare for you. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, you don't get magically qualified.
Yeah, exactly. You have to work for it, and then you find your way.
Yeah.
Nothing in life comes easy. You have to work for it.
No, and it's funny because I even tell like my cousin's kids that they're already older and stuff. I've been telling them, and I tell other people, I go, look, you don't know until you sit down with somebody and get prepared.
Yeah.
Because maybe you want to buy now, but maybe you can't. But maybe they can prepare you for a year from now. You put a plan into place. But without preparation, how are you going to know? And a lot of times I feel that people think, oh, I can't buy a house, or I can't do this because I don't qualify. And I'm like, how do you know?
How do you know?
Like, how do you know?
That
Because
was
people tell you? Like,
yeah,
who are these people?
Or the reverse. Oh no, I know I'm going to qualify.
All right. And then they're
Really?
self-employed. They make $16,000 a year on
Yeah.
taxes.
Yeah. Well, and to them, they're making whatever the revenue was. So, we look at taxes differently.
Right.
Just because there was flow of money of like hundreds of thousands of dollars doesn't mean that's the amount of money you're reflecting you have.
I mean, you can still buy, but maybe you need more down payment. Do you have the down payment? Like, there's so many scenarios.
Let's just put it this way. If you're barely paying taxes, you're not reflecting enough income for a purchase.
And nowadays with the prices,
Yeah. I mean, although there's ways to go around things, I'm actually
Right.
reading a book right now. It's called, I think, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name, but it's how not to pay taxes. And
oh my God, that sounds like a great book.
well, so far it's been so good. It's been good. So I'm
Can
like
I
on
get the
chapter
cliff
5. Yeah.
Can I get the cliff notes?
Yeah, I gotta find it. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna take a minute to share that.
Well,
because-
that's a big deal because I think the smartest people that make money, they find all the loopholes in the tax rules to be able to save themselves money. And there's a lot of stuff that you can do.
it's called "Be Smart, Pay Zero Taxes" by Mark J. Kwan.
Okay.
So far so good. It was
Is it
suggested.
an audible?
I
Or is
don't
it a
know.
phys- are you doing a physical
I have
book?
to do a physical, and they have a workbook too that you can write on. Although I'm not really good about the workbook. I'm on chapter 5 and realize that the workbook is per chapter.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
So you're not doing your homework.
I'm not doing my homework. Yeah. And talking about homework, David and I started learning Hebrew.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, we're taking classes. David had the hardest time learning Hebrew on his first, because he skipped the first class. So the second class, he was like that bad kid that missed the homework,
Right.
sitting across from me, interrupting my learning to get the information because he couldn't answer anything.
So you're
That's what
beating him.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's just because I'm a class ahead. But anyway, learning is definitely something that everybody should be doing. And,
Yes, it's exercise for your brain.
and I wanted to add, this last part of the segment is our favorite podcasts. What podcasts do you like to listen to and why?
So I do listen. So I drive to Orlando for work a lot, so I have hours. And I like to listen to the Tom Ferry podcast.
Okay.
He has like good tips. And there's another one. It's about investments.
Okay.
I don't remember the name. Let me see.
Is it with Cody Sanchez? No. I listened to Cody Sanchez.
Something
She's
big,
on this mission.
buck, something. Hold on. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. Cody Sanchez is on this mission of purchasing or having people purchase baby boomer businesses. And I think she has a great approach on that.
Oh, the Bigger Pockets Real Estate Podcast.
Okay.
And they talk about real estate sort of, but not really, but they talk mostly about investments, flips, Section 8, holding, different states,
I'm going to have to
market.
start listening to that.
They had the last one I listened to was really interesting because they were talking about the best 5 states to invest right now and the 5 worst. So he had like a couple of people on there, and they each had to pick.
I'll get that information from you afterwards because I would love to hear from that. Right now, I've been really interested in business acquisitions. I've yet to dabble into it. There's so many aspects and how to do it and the finance and how to use other people's money and all these things, So I've been listening to Laila Hormozi and Alex Hormozi. They own acquisitions.com. And they are phenomenal when it comes to acquisitions. They started with gyms.
That actually sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can do it in so many. David just went through a mastermind not too long ago, a few weeks back, and they were talking about acquisitions as well and how you can go about it in different ways. You can either go about it in purchasing businesses that kind of help each other, and basically, if you sponsor one of those businesses, you can put it as a tax write-off. And, so it's like but it's your own business and you're paying into one of your businesses and they all kind of feed each other. That's one way. And then there was another way that you purchase businesses. First you do one and you make it grow. And then you purchase a few other ones of the same and you create this large portfolio and then you sell it for millions and millions of dollars.
Oh, I like that.
Something that we've been looking into recently. And but yeah, Laila Hormozi talks about that. Alex Hormozi too. And there's some other.
Oh, you got to send me that one. That one sounds interesting. I got to drive to Orlando soon. So
I'll send it to you. Well, perfect. Guys, thank you so much again for tuning in. And Jen, thank you always for being here. We've been committed to this. We should be committed to this for a very long time. I'm having a good time with you.
Yes, I feel like it's going to get better.
Yeah, it will. It will. As long as we can get in there and figure out the topics in good time. Sometimes we're a little last minute, but we got this.
No, and sometimes my topics are so off the wall, but they're coming, the off the wall ones.
Yes, 100%. And eventually Lewis will show up. He hates it when I put him out there, but he will. We'll get him a separate mic. But anyway, thank you guys again. I guess you'll see us next week on Thursday at 8 a.m.
See you.